Hello, everybody. Welcome to Rewrite Your Reality with Reese. I am your host. And today, thoughts don't create things. Thoughts about thoughts don't create things. You do. We often hear that the phrase thoughts create things. Sometimes we have thoughts about the thoughts that we think are creating things or are preventing things. It's not simple enough. And the idea basically is that, you think about something you want, you hold that thought somehow, some way, some reason, and eventually it appears. Or you repeatedly think that thought of what you want, but you think it as if you have it, opposed to thinking that I need to get something, I need to try and get it, I need to work out how to get it. But in practice, you may find yourself a little disappointed, right? You imagine we repeat affirmations, we hold these desires in our mind, and then the result doesn't always show up the way we expect or within the time frame that we expect. You see how we create these subtle traps, these lies of reality. But they're not necessarily lies because you can experience what you are experiencing. And whenever we think about manifestation, we also tend to give it a secret timeline. Why didn't it happen yet? Why was there a yet? Yet implies you were thinking that it must happen by some point. Why is there a yet there? The yet is showing you that you think there's a time frame that must happen here. There's only now. When do you become something? When do you turn 35? Well, on my 31st birthday. When are you unfolding into your 35th birthday? Well, now, since you were born. So where's the time period? Even when we tell ourselves we are letting go, some quiet corner of our mind still whispering, okay, but it should happen in a week or a month or at least sometime too soon because you're wasting time, things are happening around you, people are moving around and you are not experiencing what you desire to be experiencing. Invisible deadlines, creating stories, and thoughts about those thoughts are basically those deadlines, and how we are unfolding must occur. Take the common example. I am a millionaire. Perfectly reasonable desire, perfectly valid. That version of you just exists. That's about it. I am a millionaire. That's it. That's who I assume I am because I'm aware of it. I am walking in that knowing. That's about it. The one with the overflowing wealth, abundance in the bank, the identity of financial ease. It already exists. And almost immediately you think, well, was that enough? I thought the thought, was it enough? I'm thinking the thoughts, is it enough? I'm thinking and having doubts. What do I do with this? We condition it. Well, there must be some trigger, there must be some feeling, there must be something that must happen. No, I am it now. It's falling away. Maybe I have to do it again. When will it be enough that you just acknowledge that I am that because my own awareness is aware of it? I must walk toward it. In the meantime, I must make ends meet until it arrives. I must stay busy while I wait for the unfolding. That's not actually true. It can't be true because infinity is right here and right now with you. So no matter what form of you being a millionaire takes in every single moment, it must be that form of I am a millionaire. You are God. You are the infinity of awareness. You are infinite awareness itself. Infinity being aware of itself. And that's astonishing because you realize that version of you that is a millionaire doesn't exist some far future, regardless of the money in the bank right now. Everything that you desire as a millionaire already is in the seed of desire. So of course those bills are paid. Of course you can buy those shoes. Of course you can do this thing. You don't need the money in the bank to know that, hey, along the way of experiencing being a millionaire, part of that desire is to actually have these bills paid. To have the money to buy the thing that I want to buy. That's part of the seed. It must be. It isn't just like I must struggle to be a millionaire. No, it's me having a millionaire lifestyle, meaning that I always have money. I always have love. I'm always loved. I'm always chosen. I'm always healthy. I don't care if I stub my toe on the door. UK in the moment. Don't get me wrong. Trust me, we all do, right? Because that hurts. But you are always healthy, and it exists in an infinite number of ways. You don't have to think I need to struggle here until I'm a millionaire. It's like, no, even if I'm struggling here for the moment without the money currently in my physical awareness, that's not my choice. I'm a millionaire. I have the money to pay this thing, even if I don't have enough to pay for this thing right this second. I'm the version of myself that I desire to be. I always have money. That just exists, and I accept its existence as my choice, my preference right now unfolding. You don't think things into existence. You already, as the creator, thought them into existence. You are yet just to choose. This is the key pivot, right? Your thoughts don't create things. Thoughts are things already. Thoughts about things are not thoughts about that thing. It is its own thought about a thing that might look identical to the thought that you were having about the other thing, but it is its own thing. I'll explain that now. If you got it, amazing. But I'm going to explain it deeper, don't worry. Your thoughts about thoughts do not create anything. You create everything as the awareness, creating the experiencing of whatever you are experiencing. Awareness just creates. The I amness that you are creates. Think of it this way. Your identity, your sense of being, is always generating reality in every single instant. Whatever frame of reality you identify with is the one that comes into existence in every single moment. Regardless of what does come into existence in every single moment, you are the one creating it. That is why it is not necessary to struggle to believe anything. Just be willing to know that whatever you are contemplating as awareness, as what you are choosing to identify with, is your reality. And you can contemplate things that you just don't care about because you're just going along with them in the moment. You don't need to convince yourself or force yourself to think positively because you couldn't think negatively if you tried. So no, but I'm thinking that I can't be this. Yes, but but positively you can experience that experiencing of negative experiencing. All things must inherently be a positive, as in ability to experience it. I'm not saying negative and positive because those two ideas are human mind, pointless things of good and bad. They don't exist. God created everything, right? It's like saying a lock and a key are positive and negative. No, they just work together, right? That's it. Positive and negative is what we have called it, which is also within the experiencing of reality, but they work together, right? It's like having a mountain and a valley. They work together, but you wouldn't say the one is more and the other one is less, right? There might be more land, but there's more space. It's the same thing. So, reality is not constructed by sheer repetition of thought. You can repeat the same thought over and over and over again, doesn't matter. What are you calling forth as a consciousness, as awareness, as your intention? The natural fact that you are God, the creator, and every possible frame of reality exists within you. Now I'm going to go back to that idea of your thought about a thought is its own thing versus a thought about the thing as its own thing. So I went to see a movie yesterday, and I was sitting in movie theater 2, watching the film, right? And later I remembered that experience, and I realized that this thing that we all come to know right now is that every time you recall this idea of sitting there watching the movie, is that you aren't revisiting the same reality. You are calling forth a brand new version of this frame of reality in every single time. You don't need to whatsoever. You don't need to call back that frame and remember it exactly the way that you remember it. Right? We've spoken about this previously. You don't need to call back a frame of reality and remember it in any way that you think you need to remember it. You can remember it in any way, but you don't need to force that experience into your reality so it matches what you are choosing to remember. If you just choose to remember it that way, reality will rearrange itself in order for you to, because you remembered it that way, not in order for anything. Because you remembered it that way, reality rearranges itself because it's already true. Right? So instead, realize that you are remembering it any way you like. It just so happens you don't really have a feeling about that memory, and you're remembering the movie over and over and over again, but they are brand new. So even if I imagine the same cinema, number 2, over and over and over and over, same seat over and over and over, same film over and over and over, each remembrance, each thought, each mental replay is not the same as the previous one. It's brand new. It's always new. Because there's an infinite number of realities of this exact same idea, and reality never recycles itself. It's always re-experiencing the story you are telling, but not the frame that you are calling forth. And God doesn't reuse frames. What would be the point of reusing a frame for your experiencing? You are God. You have an infinite number. Why would you waste your time on the previous one? Each call, each imagining is unique and fresh, because you are unique and fresh in every single moment. It must be. That is the nature of creation: endless renewal, endless infinite beingness. So what repeats is the frame, is the story that you're telling. And you can choose to repeat the same story of I am not and experience I am not 100 times, 1,000 times, or infinite number of times in different ways, different companies, different people in your life, different ideas, whatever. But those repetitions are coming from the same story, but they're not the same frame. And here's the thing that you can wrap your mind around. If you sit there and you imagine Cinema 1, that is a frame that just exists. For whatever reason, I identify with being in the version of me who went to Cinema 1 and watched the movie. Who cares why? Doesn't matter. It exists. I'm remembering the version of me who watched the movie in Cinema 2. It's brand new right now. Cinema 1 is its own frame. Cinema 2 is its own frame. Now I'm going to have a thought about the thought of me watching the movie in Cinema 2. So I created a whole new thing, a third thing. A thought about a thought about the thought about having it in Cinema 2. That is its own thing. That frame that I've called here as a thought about the cinema and Cinema 2 is its own frame. It's its own thing. This is its own thing. I am in Cinema 2. I am in Cinema 1. I am in Cinema 2. I'm having a thought about the thought being in Cinema 2. It's its own thing. It's its own frame. It's its own beingness. It doesn't have anything to do with these other two. It can't. It has nothing to do with it. That's why your thoughts don't create anything. Because you're just thinking about stuff. You're creating new frames. But it's always your imagination as awareness, or awareness as imagination, that is calling forth that frame and experiencing it. So it's you that is doing it. You are just calling forth what to embody as awareness. It's your awareness that is doing it, calling it forth first. So those frames are all different. So it's always a frame that you're calling forth. It's always a thought you are calling forth. Even the thought about the thought, about the thought, about the thought, about the thought is another frame entirely. So even the thought, the only thought that matters is I am. I'm calling forth I am. Because I am. So I am calling forth myself. Whew. So, when we desire something, say love, health, wealth, and freedom, immediately our minds begin to generate reasons as to why we don't have it. Doubts, fears, excuses, limitations. Why can't I do this? Now let me put something on so I can feel a bit better and then do it. Why? Why condition anything? It's like, no, I don't feel really good right now. So? Can you know your dream life while not feeling good? It's hard. Oh, so if I asked you what your name was while you were sick and vomiting, you might struggle to get it out, but you will know it immediately. So what's the difference? We think pain and our mind going into these ideas of I am not because I'm in pain, I'm having a bad dream, I'm having sicknesses, whatever, that I can't know an idea exists. My knowing of the idea is the evidence of its own existing. I'm going to assume because I know that idea, I'm choosing that idea internally as awareness. That's just my life now. That's it. No trigger, nothing. What we often overlook is those doubts are basically just manifestations of infinity. It's its own frame, right? On the one hand, I am is singular. We can experience I am not in an infinite number of ways, but when we call our desired reality, our desired dream life, We think one way because there's one idea, but there's only one, so there must be one way to do this. There must be a way to do that. I am not so many ways, but I am is one. What's really happening is that I am is the only reality, that is the oneness, but there isn't one way for your reality to unfold. There's an infinite number of I am ways to unfold that. Just like there's an infinite number of ways of I am not to unfold. It's just like when we're calling I am not, we are calling I am not differently most of the time, a different way. But they're all its own thing. They're all its own experiencing of the same I am not. We just typically expand I am not into more ways of why we can't do or be something. I am, there must be only one way as we can be this, because I can't come up with a good way to be it. So there must be only one way. What is that way? No, there's an infinite number of physical ways for your desired end to unfold. So just experience yourself as you would like to be. And let one of those infinite ways come to you. Just know that they are. They're the same thing. They literally say, we just experience them differently. Because we choose to see one greater than the other, because there's more of the one in our awareness than the other. But now you realize there's an infinite number of ways of everything. So if there's an infinite number of ways with everything, why would I care how it unfolds? What do I care about? Experiencing it. So experience it. It's yours. And we get to this question of naturalness and the state of awareness. But what's really natural? Every single time you call forth a reality where you are unnaturally being it, like that feeling of resistance, right? That feeling of resistance in that frame where you're feeling resistant into doing what you want to be doing. That's its own thing. That's its own frame. That's its own experience. It's there. Another frame where you're feeling more natural is its own thing. More natural is its own thing. What's actually happening is this: you are actually realizing yourself naturally as I am. So the more you are natural as I am, the more you're just calling forth the frame you actually want, which is naturally experiencing what it is you desire. Its own frame. You aren't changing this one to become more natural. You're calling forth another one where you're just consciously experiencing it more naturally. By naturally aligning, I hate that word. It's so eloquently wrong. It's so annoying. Not aligning. You are already aligned. You are naturally just becoming more aware of who you are because it is a choice to do that. You're just choosing to be more natural. You're choosing to be more naturally aware of who you are as a choice. Right? I explained the cinema thing already. So, cool. Final point. My script. I skipped ahead of it accidentally. No accidents. It was fun. I explained it perfectly, right? Here's your final essential realization. Yeah, I say essential. It's just the essential thing is the only thing that is knowing that you are awareness. You can stop there, to be honest. Your thoughts don't create themselves. Your thoughts don't create anything of themselves. Your thoughts about thoughts don't create anything either. It's your awareness of what it is you are being. You are the creator. I don't know why I'm doing this, but I am. Each thought only determines which frame you call for right now, and each frame is its own unique thing right now. Every frame is new, every frame is infinite, coming from the infinite, and every frame is connected only by your awareness, and you are the one threading it in. And if you are calling for something unnatural, you are calling for the unnatural experience of that frame. If you are calling for a thought about a frame, you're calling for the experience about a thought about a thought about the frame. Those ones don't typically manifest in your physical reality, but you do physically experience the experiencing of them right then and there, because you get confused and annoyed and whatever. So nothing you imagine, nothing you think can ever erase any other version of reality, because they are just existing, and reality is very, 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 very infinite. Whatever you think reality can't be, you are calling forth that idea that it can't be. That's its own experience. Whatever you think is its own experience. It's always there. It's always available, but you don't have to curate it. It doesn't matter. Always waiting to be called forth anew. And every time you do call it forth, you are calling it forth anew. The power is not in managing your thoughts or controlling your mind. Power is you. You are the power. Power of knowing, power of focus, power of awareness itself. The infinite creator. That every frame of reality is born fresh in this eternal moment of now. I am your host, Reese. This is Rewrite Your Reality with Reese. Thank you all for being here with me. Thank you for the wonderful comments. Quite an expansive couple of days. People messaging, asking very deep questions, answering them, making stuff about those questions as well. So thank you for that. Much love, much light. Thank you for the liking, subscribing, joining, sharing, join the Facebook group, join the TikTok page as well. If you want to get a hold of me, you can you can email me. My email is in the description box below. That being said, much love, much light, and I will see you all in the next one.